Oh, hello there. How we all doing? Welcome back to another video, another rant. Kind of what we come to expect here from time to time, eh? Fair warning. This is a mid-game or a mid-act area. This is in Act 2 of the game. I think I'm about at the midway point of said act. If you click this, you are obviously seeing an area that you may or may not have seen. So minor spoiler there. There will be some other minor / major spoilers. There's not going to be anything crazy throughout this background of sorts while I rant about these things. But fair warning, I feel like the game has been doing well enough to where this isn't a spoiler for a lot of people, but I'm sure that it will be also for other people that have not played this. So, fair warning, there will be minor character spoilers, as well as area, fight, whatever. If you care about those things, this is your warning, and that is that. So, this game, Clair Obscur, Expedition 33. Fucking amazing. Like, if you don't watch this video or listen to this video and just go and play the game, I wouldn't be mad at you. Be a great use of your time. Great value, too. That's part of the topics we're going to talk about. Because this game is great. Because it is a combination of JRPGs of the older days with clearly some Western influence as well. Photorealistic art, which looks great. The cast of characters are great. The story's great. You could get legitimately skill checked because there's dodges / parries, and I'm terrible at them. But it hasn't stopped me from playing the game yet. In fact, if there's any drawbacks to this game, I would say that would be the only one. If you're bad at those things, you might have a hard time. To that, I would say try either adjusting the difficulty and or relying on dodges instead of parries, as they have an easier window of opportunity to do things. And if you do that, when you are dodging, if you get a lot of perfect dodges, you're probably ready to parry. If you don't get perfect dodges, well, you'll still dodge the attacks and not take damage, but you're not ready for parries and or hard counters from your characters as a result of being good at the game. To which a lot of times I am not. But still fun. I would still highly recommend it. I have been grinding this boring area since like level 32. Because it's easy XP. Like, I don't have to do much in the combat. I can just free aim, which is something else you can do. You can do attacks and like hit certain areas with like range attacks instead of doing your standard attack. It does use AP, which, are little points, action points for you to, well, your character to do things. Whether it be free aim or use spells. Just the ability to do different things in combat. So you have turn-based with a bit of depth to it, which is nice. The music is top tier as well. This is definitely something I would highly recommend to if you are over Final Fantasy at this point. Which I get it. I'm not quite there, but I am of the camp of slow but steady, sinking ship, not as good as it used to be, so on and so forth. A lot of people say since 10, I say since 9, but, we can disagree. Just play the game. It's fucking great. And it doesn't take triple-digit time like Persona 5 does. No knock on Persona 5, because I hear it's great, along with various other Persona games, but that's just not the kind of time I was looking to invest. This is about 30 hours on average, which I'm sure means it'll take that much longer for me. But that also depends on side content that you're doing. But even with that, you're probably still looking at less playtime overall, unless you decide to go into New Game Plus, which is also a thing in this, which is further value. You get in a game that costs $45 if you pre-ordered it through and had PS Plus. That might still be the price. Maybe that's a permanent discount per PS Plus. I'm not quite sure. Or $50 retail. You know, not 60, 70, $80, which is a perfect segue into the next part of what I wanted to talk about on here, which is, despite my better judgment, I have been cautiously optimistic for the Switch 2. And I had a combination of miracles making it to where there might actually be a Switch 2 in my future. A lot of that having to do with this month being a 3 paycheck month. You know, it usually happens about twice a year. It's nice when it does. You know, pay bills with the first 2 checks and third one's free. Huge quotes, because, you know, 2 weeks is a long time to go not spending. You're probably going to have to pay something off before you can get the money yourself. But hey, that's a whole other topic that I wasn't expecting to get into. Anyway. But yeah, so with the Switch 2, I mean, it's all been said. It's all out there, right? My issue is more so the games, not the hardware. Like, yeah, we would have liked to pay less for the hardware, but with what you're getting, I think the hardware is fine. It's pricey. Well, what's that? The software is a much bigger problem, because someone had to push the envelope, and unfortunately that someone is Nintendo. And it didn't take long for now Microsoft to follow suit, and I'm sure Sony's going to do the same. And this gives third parties permission also to do the same. Previous culprit was 2K Games, I believe, back in the day, when we went from 60 to 70. Which is funny, because we decided sports games was where we were going to try this, which is hilarious, because they're mostly the same, just roster changes and graphic changes. But, you know, I digress. We're in an interesting gaming space where it's always been interesting because it's a space that claims we don't make enough money when they're always making all the money. Although I guess actually that's the problem from a corporation perspective. They're not making all the money, so therefore doing bad. So finding all the various ways to nickel and dime people outside of, well, from a business perspective, even though corporations were going to be corporations and find a reason anyway, the easy thing to hide behind now, and it's a fair point, is tariffs. Everything's going up. So, good thing I don't want any Switch 2 accessories, all going up between $5 to $10 a piece. But I am willingly skipping out on the Pro Controller because it does not have Hall effect sticks, which is really, really stupid. Huge letdown. And that's my biggest letdown of the whole Nintendo debacle, honestly. But, you know, I get it. Mario Kart, $80. Basically forcing you into buying the bundle, so you pay 50 instead of 80. But also total fucking FOMO, because if you don't get the bundle by fall, it won't be an option anymore, and you have to buy Mario Kart separately, and you will be paying that $80. DK Bonanza is debatably the bigger game, and you can do more in it, and it costs $70. So let that variable pricing make sense. I can't make sense out of it. I'm not even sure Nintendo can, but we'll see how that plays out. If you want to be apologetic towards Nintendo, so be it. Variable pricing. I'm sure that's not what we're going to get on Xbox's end, because we're seeing a console that's already not selling versus the other two. They're raising their prices for the same reasons, and they're pretty disgusting. So this is very quickly becoming a space where people either need to make choices to get games with more intent, respect a second look to your gaming backlog more than ever, or if you are going to buy stuff, make sure you're extracting good value out of it. Right? Something like this. We had the Oblivion remake come out. Between the two have sparked a lot of interest in RPGs again, which is great. I love that for gamers. There's also Blueprints, which I've heard a lot about, but don't really know anything outside of the game itself, and that it's part of the value perspective conversation, and people are enjoying it. So we're always going to have the AA/indie games to enjoy. And may just be the only ones people can enjoy given the current gaming climate. It sucks if you're not priced out entirely, because there will be some people in that category as well. Be fully prepared to pay $100 for the standard edition of GTA 6. It's coming. But yeah, it sucks. I'm cautiously optimistic. But also I'm fully aware that I am contributing to the problem. I mean, I'm just a single person. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. People were going to buy the Switch 2. It is what it is. Nintendo is Nintendo. There was no stopping it. I went with Nintendo because more times than not, it's where the games are at. Because their IPs are well known, and you know what you're getting with Nintendo. It just might come at a more costly price now, which makes it harder to navigate that space. But I am cautiously optimistic, especially considering at launch there isn't a ton to show for it, which is another negative towards getting into that space at this time. But if you don't get one now, the prices could be increased. Another FOMO aspect to things, and I'm in it. I fell for it. You know, it is what it is. But I've also done with this in the past with the Wii U. I've done it with the PS3. Like, I've taken my chances before, and mostly not regretted them. When we start getting into the Xbox/PS6, and they turn around and say, oh, by the way, consoles are now quad digits. Much like with phones, that's when I will be opting out of the space entirely. Because I have zero interest in keeping up with that. Which is also part of why I'm getting the Switch, because between that, a PC, and a Steam Deck I got from a previous job work bonus, didn't have to pay anything out of pocket for it, I'm set. I don't need anything else. I've had 2 different console generations where I've had all the consoles. I definitely will not be doing that at this point. I'm not trying to go broke, you know? It sucks. There are definitely things to still be excited about. I'll be a proud gamer still probably for a very long time. Because even when quad digits happen, if that happens, probably will. Even when that happens, there will still be stuff to enjoy out there. But I feel for anybody that can't partake anymore. Because ultimately it is a luxury at this point. It's a very hard space to keep up with. Also, physical collectors are in for some trouble because of the whole virtual cart system. You know, it's not great. But before this gets too much longer, I think this is basically all I wanted to say. You know, just we have to be careful. But the good thing is we do all have the glorious tools of the internet. So There's reviews. See, now we get to see in action me sucking at parrying. Oh, there's jump attacks too. I forgot about that.
I'm ready.
We have reviews, and if you don't necessarily trust gaming journalists, Metacritic, I would say OpenCritic instead, or just like real people like you and I out there on YouTube that with opinions, like fellow gamers that put out content, and you can just rely on that to give you an informed opinion, to make an informed decision for yourself. Look out for sales more often. Stick it to the man with your wallet and don't participate in AAA. Stick more with AA's and indies. You know what? There's various ways to go about it. It sucks. But I guess what I'm trying to say, for as much as it sucks, there is still things to be enjoyed. And as long as you're having fun, that's what's important. There's other conversations to be had with paying for games and them being broken at launch and all this stuff that you've heard before. But really, especially at this stage in the game where gaming is more expensive than it's been, if you are having fun, money well spent. Make sure you're having fun and not busting your wallet too much. However you can manage that, because some of us want to still buy and play the things. It's just gonna come at a bunch more pretty pennies than it did previously. If you stuck around to this point, thank you for listening, hearing my ranting, unscripted, unfiltered, as per norm on here. Maybe I will change that someday, but that day is not today. So, I thank you. I would say also, if you're new here, to consider subscribing. And more importantly, let me know how you are navigating this current gaming space. What your plan is for next gen, upcoming gen, whatever we're going to call it, being priced out gen. How are you navigating this space? What choices are you going to be making? Are you just going to say fuck the industry as a whole? Are you just saying it to specifically to Nintendo because you're not getting a Switch 2, but you might get an Xbox or a PS6? Nextbox. I don't know what the Xbox is called, so that's what I'm calling it, Nextbox. But yeah, how do you plan on navigating this space? Let me know. Until the next time, guys, you all take care. Stay awesome, and I'll see you on the next one.